What's up? I'm on Rohan, all that good stuff. My day's going pretty good. Hopefully yours is. You can always leave a comment on that if you wish. The sweetest of summer, the sweetest of spring. So many smells and other beautiful things. Walking through a meadow, seeing for what it is that has been produced. Such beauty in this. It has been produced. Not wishing for it to go away. What a beautiful sight. Upon that day. A beauty beyond what it is that you would normally see. Maybe it's one that happened to look at me. Or one that does not know of ones such as me. The sweetest smells. Within the summer, within the spring. Is this something different? Is this a new thing? Craving to see such beauty as this. Strolling through a meadow, just to find this. The farther you go from the well-beaten path, the more beauty there is to be had. The smell itself can be intoxicating. Seeing such beauty, it is extremely intoxicating. But could it be for me? Is this a beauty that I'm just allowed to see? But nothing that could be for me. Makes me wonder how it is I could make it last. For the seasons of spring and summer I wish to last. Before such things, when it is I go to the meadow. Upon the fall and winter, they're no longer in the meadow. Is there a way that I could possibly guard? So that there's no way that these among the meadow can be scarred. Start to wither and lose their beauty. Lose the splendor that gives them their beauty. Is there a way to save such ones in the meadow? That way they do not have to deal with the frosts and cold weather. That makes it to where they cannot last. To where it is they start to wither because they cannot last. Could it be this that I have seen is something that was never meant for me. The splendor that can be seen in these seasons that are spring and summer, an intoxicating time of spring and summer. For many bloom among the meadow, intoxicating as it is you walk through the unbeaten path in the meadow. Some rarities are even more than others. But why would it be that you cannot find these with the others? The sweetest smells among the spring and summer. These rarer in the unbeaten path. Can't imagine the sweet, intoxicating smell that they have. Could it be that I search for something that cannot be? Something beyond what I am capable to see? Do I have to have binoculars? Binoculars to see? Is common among the meadow. No different than any other that is in the meadow. How can I tell the difference between them and the one I seek? Is this kind of thing not for the meek? When such beauty happens to be seen, extremely hard to explain upon what it is you have seen. Petals among the thorns that raise above all that can be considered thorns. Eventually, around them, there are no longer thorns. For when it is they know upon their beauty, they ensure anything that insults their beauty is gone and cannot be seen near them. For only others can be seen around them, similar to how it is that they happen to be. For if you are a friend or one similar to me, fairly clearly you can see. None that are not like that. or around in that spot. Similar to the phrase, a bird of a feather flocks together. A flower of the same kind buds upon the same kind. Some may be rarer than the one that bud from, and always the same color. Not always the same color, as far as what it is they seem to be. Not even the smell that with your nose you can see. Sweetest times among the spring and summer. Budding of ones from the previous summer. Such a beauty upon when you see a group. Much harder to make it to be seen by that group. Could it be that this meadow, only these dwell within this meadow? Hard to tell if it is that they do, when it is that you're intoxicated by your view. Each individual petal, unique as any other, do not look exactly the same as each other. Each leaf as well, even the stem that leads to what it is that you see and smell. Is there a way to protect this to where it does not go away? Or will there be a sad September's day to when it is that these beauties and other things, such as this within the meadow that is known for this, no longer until the spring and summer again exist? Such a sad day would be this, not getting to see such splendor, not being able to see and smell their splendor. never knowing upon how far or how long they'll last. Upon the spring and summer, you must act fast. For upon if you don't, the beauty will be found by another because you choose and don't. Never know when that will come to an end. Amongst the spring and summer, this is when you find their splendor. A flower in all its beauty. Walk through a meadow, and you will see all their beauty. Groups upon groups, separated by space. Similar to how girls operate in this place. Might have to take a second to change something though. I wonder, is that what you say? Can I make it to where one looks my way? Do you wish to smell their intoxicating smell? Get to look at the petals more closely. I'm pretty sure the others protect them closely. In the sweetest time of summer and spring, when there could be possibility of new things. Will you take the opportunity to walk through the meadow? Or do you ever consider to walk through? How do you not know right now you're not? There could be one looking upon you at this spot. Can you tell or not? The beauty that could be seen, the petals, personality, and other things. the stem being the way that they were raised. The flower itself being how it is they are upon these days. Some take longer to bloom than others. Fair warning, though. Treat them badly, and they start to wither. Like a cold beginning of winter. In mid-September. And the grouping of such ones as their friends that protect them from the start to the end. The sweetest summer and sweetest spring. Which one of these do you wish to be seen? When it is that love itself might start to bloom between you and them, whoever that may be. Do you treat them good so this flower you can see? Or do they choose to bloom for you? It's up to you on what it is they choose to do. Whoever that may be for you. It is upon the first time you meet. It is not fully the flower that you see. It is only but the bud. Depending on if it is that you nurture it, it may remain that way, or it may start to show you the beauty of what it is that you can see in the relationship, the way it happens to be. Do you wish it to be fully bloomed? Or do you wish that not to have been bloomed? Never get to see its full splendor if you never take the time to nurture it to get that splendor. Does that always apply to a girl? I say that because some guys are considered that to their girl. Whoever it may be that you have feelings for. Do you wish to see that flower a little bit more? Or will you only see a fraction of what it is that it could be? Never willing to put in the time for this, for you to see. Sweetest smile that you may never get a chance. If it is that you do not take a chance, sweetest opportunity in the spring or summer. Do you take this kind of opportunity, or is it, for you, September? Do you wish it to be? Is there maybe a flower you've only begun to see? Do you wish that it was that you could? Do you think that for some reason, this something for you cannot get? But for this, a relationship is what you must have first. The only time you can actually see such things is when it is you take time to nurture such things. Going through the thick and thin. Even when it is sad what it is that you happen to be in. Even when there's difficulties that happen to show. For this flower to bloom, trust has to be shown. For this, if it is, you act opposite of this, you will never get to see the splendor of such things. You will only see September to December. Do you walk through the meadow during this time? How many flowers do you actually see upon this time? Or do you wait until it is spring or summer? Wisest time to do so. The sweetest summer you could not describe. for everything and all the beauties you happen to have caught with your eye. No matter if it is that you notice or not, this happens upon a time in your life. Will you take the time to find and try to get this bud to bloom? If necessary, by nurturing it, will you give it room? Will you be more considered with yourself? Not nurturing the flower that has the bud itself. Not getting a chance to see a view that very few get to see. Of a relationship beyond what it is you might expect. But with effort only at this you can get. You cannot expect a flower to bloom if it is not you do anything to help it bloom. Support when it is that it needs it. Nurturing when it is that it needs it. Help supply upon what it is they need. Be there for them in a moment's need. Being kind and gentle when it's time of need. Being stern if it is required, but not too much, for that is definitely not required. Such a chance do you have. But yet, many choose what will not last. A feeling that will just go. As soon as that one has to go. If you choose the flower, it's constant. It does not go away. For they do the same thing for you upon this day. Being there for you as well. Encouraging you if it is you need it just as well. So which of the two is it that you wish to have? A sweet summer or spring? Or February to December? Or the showing of the start of that, which happens to be September? Sure, you might ask. September. How can I tell that might be? do you trust them? Do you act mean? Is there no trust amongst you that they can see? Do they slowly start to back away? Few signs. It's September. Upon that day, when it is, the flowers among the meadows start to go away. Oh, and they tell other flowers when they choose to go that way. So which of these two do you wish to have? A relationship that happens to last? Or one because of the lack of your trust is shown that they should have a lack of trust? As it is, the love starts to wither. When it was never meant to wither. Amongst the two, whoever it is that you think that is important to you. For you, which is you amongst these two? If it is that you wish to have this sweet summer and spring, sometimes you might have to let things be heard or seen. Some may not know upon how it is you feel. If it is that you do, make sure your view is seen for what it is. Maybe at that point, you can fix it for what it is. Such a chance for something great. The only question is, why do you choose to hesitate? If it is that you do you not know you have a chance for something great for you? Or is it something you just will not do? Is it hard amongst all this to trust anyone? Not all are alike. Do not judge one for what it is that happened to you. It does not mean the next will do the same. In the sweetest summer, when it is that things start to bloom, For these kinds of things, you must make room. Cannot expect to have the other expect that they will only have to accommodate to you. It's a two-way road as far as this goes. Sure, you have standards as far as what it is that this goes. Don't compromise for what it is that you wish. For what it is that you wish to get amongst this. Or for what it is that you seek that is separate as well. If it is that they do not support you as far as what it is that you wish to do, it is not the flower that happens to be for you. Supporting each other, not just one over the other. Hard for it is that trust can be built. If it is a lack of trust, you show as it is, it's being built. But even through the hardest times you might go through, just remember, this one, if it is one you seriously care about, is going with you. You step back, they will as too. Step forward, they do as too. Times it can be hard, if it is that this is what it is that you seek. Many times it lasts for maybe a week, a month, a year, maybe 2 or 3. But what is it? Do you notice change? Is it something that you like amongst this change? If it is that you don't, you might want to vocalize upon the fact you don't. Must remember as well. The other is an individual as well. It's hard for a relationship to be good. If it is, but the other does not know this. And does not care if it is that the other happens to show this. Yes, compromises might have to be made. But it does not mean you sacrifice everything. It's a two-way road as far as that, as far as everything. If it is, it seems to be one-sided. You are in September, at the point it is one-sided. The alarm should go off upon this time. May want to let them know before it is December among your time. Fail to listen, then it is. You must do as it is you need. For it is a spring and summer. In your relationship, that is what you need. Growth only happens at this point. At September, death happens and starts to happen at this point. As far as it is, as flowers and plants go, that is. My example happens to be a flower. A relationship that represents with your special. Your relationship, that is. So in it, which one is it? Is it that only but spring for you? So what is it? Knowing this, might you do? Are you the one that is in need of the nurturing? Or is the other? Are you built strong together? Can you see the flower as it starts to bloom? The love that starts between the two of you. Or has the bud even started to show? Only with a true relationship will this even start to show. Yes, you will have bad times. But the happiness that you get is worth the times. And the struggle amongst as well. Is this something you wish to have? Have as well? You must walk amongst the meadow in the spring and summer. Many flowers can be seen in a meadow. You can walk amongst the path of the others that have done the same thing, searching through the meadows. Or you can try the unbeaten path and find the ones that are even rarer than is amongst that path. For many avoid such things as this. Many grow beyond what it is your normal path. The one that everyone else happens to look to find them fast. But which one amongst the well-beaten path actually tend to last? For many times not realizing they have, may have stepped on one as it is they chose to pass. Not realizing that was the one you meant to see. But upon that fact, you were too blind to see. Sweetest summer when it is that you are search. Do you do it in the way that another happens to search? Or do you do it in a way to find the rarer still? One that will last longer than the well-beaten path, regardless. For none approached them, for they did not know they were there regardless. Amongst the meadow, do you follow the normal path as it is you search through the meadow? Or do you take it in before it is that your search technically begins? Judging from what it is the bud happens to look like. Not knowing upon what inside, what flower waits to see what it is you wish to have a relationship with them. Well, it looks like I need to take an intermission. Be a perfect time for you to do so as well, if you wish. This is some content that is only going to be seen here and all of that. Be a perfect time for you to think of any questions or anything. And I will mention another thing as well, just real quickly. If you like the motivational poetry that I do, you can also find it under the name of Inspirations of a Gamer by Gaming with Knack. The only difference is there is no game included. In fact, it's recorded while I'm doing the game. Anyway, your victory that you just had. Try not to celebrate it for too long, for if you do, you lose the opportunity of a victory in the process of celebrating your recent victory. Don't dwell on it for too long. You already have others that, if you wish to proceed in having victories as it is that you just happen to see, to focus on something for too long, when the moment and what happened, it is already gone. You have more to be victorious in. So why is it you do not focus on what it is that you need to be for the next victory that you need to see? Regardless what it may be. Maybe personal growth. Maybe within your specific area you wish to be as far as profession. Gonna always push forward. That should be your profession. Celebrate is not a bad thing, but for too long. Stunts one that you might, if you continue to go, be able to see. Learn from the lesson that you might have learned. Acquire the information for the next victory so that you can learn. But not to waste too much time. For in truth, you do not know how much time. Makes you more respectable as well. Do you wish to be respectable in your victories as well, regardless what it may be? Celebrating something for too long. Others watch you. Might want to keep that in mind. For wasting too much time. Celebrating something that you should. That is good. But to go too far with. Is there respect earned when you do such things? Why not show your resilience in such things? One victory won. Why waste your time when you could have another one? Or if you happen to have a defeat, do not dwell on such things as your defeat. Try to find out how to fix what it is you did so you can get back on your feet. Learn from what it is, if that is what it happens to be instead of victory. You cannot win every time you try. But if you dwell on such things, your dream could possibly die. Defeat is a great time to learn something new. Maybe next time there will be a victory for you. But if you dwell on such things as well, you lose the opportunity for a victory as well. Too many times ones that have had either one. Either focus on one or the other too much, and they wonder why it is they do not have a victory very much. Regardless what it is, brush the dust off and continue, for it is what it is. To learn from either is the best to do. For you never know what next will encounter you. But also to set up a defeat, to turn it into, instead, a victory. To know what it is and how you can change. What it is, to where it is not the same. To spend too much time to dwell on it, you cannot do such things. To react quickly, in between. Do not forget to remember the lessons or take the information that you get. But too much of dwelling is the issue. For most that wish to continue, you'll find one thing that makes it to where they cannot continue. They dwell on for too long. You can get more from the situation regardless of what it is. But to sit in pity for what it is. Do you learn anything from this? Do you not take the lesson instead of not noticing the lesson? Not easy to do at times, depending on but your victory in the next situation. This can depend on how long it is you focus on such things. Only have a certain amount of time allotted to such things. Never know who that could possibly help you as well happens to be watching you. Never know who it is that might be inspired as well. What is more inspiring? To watch someone get victory after victory, or watch one get one victory and celebrate it for too long, missing their opportunity, or one that gets a defeat and focuses too much time to this defeat. What it is, you should focus on trying to get your next. Regardless, what is pertained to you getting your next? What's up? I'm back. Kind of cut that one short because I was finished. The sweetest time to take advantage of. Why is it that you choose not to take advantage of? Maybe the only opportunity that you might have. It is not guaranteed to last. Unless it is that you start to act fast. Upon this sweet flower you wish to have. You never know upon what time. It might even be erupted or interrupted ahead of time. If it is that you do not act quickly, a crucial moment for you to act quickly. To soak it in as it is you choose to go among the meadow. You never know how much time you have to browse that meadow. For many will not wait, as it is they sit. Sure, one looking for such things as I have described, like this, do not wish to wait long, for they already know their time is short. It is not long. You can browse it for a while, but not too long. For if you do, that opportunity, it will be gone. You wish to see the blossoming of this flower. Then why is it you choose not to give attention to this flower? If it is that you do, then this is information that you already know. If it is that you don't, soon enough, you'll find out you didn't know. When all opportunities for such things, they happen to go. No matter if it is a family you wish to have, or it is a love you wish to last. The sweetest smell you wish to smell, but you do not try to even get that smell? Is it that you just browse? The fact that you do, it will be seen by those. For a flower does not wait, it does not hesitate. Yes, it needs nurture and all of that. But if not you, maybe someone else can do that? If you wish to have the sweetest smell in a meadow of flowers, pick the one that is the best of the flowers. You do not have very many minutes or hours. To wait too long, another may pick, and then you're left with whatever you're able to get. But at this point, you will not be happy with what it is you get upon this point. The sweetest smell that you may never get to, if it is that you do not take the chance that you get to. Many might be willing to wait, but how long are they willing to wait? The sweetest smell that you yourself wish to. But are you going to do what it is that you need to? And if it happens to be the case, this does not apply to you. Once it is that you do, must be taken seriously upon what it is you do. For if not, that flower can easily walk away upon this spot. Find one that actually wishes them to bloom. Just because you pick it does not mean you get to see it bloom. The sweetest flower you may never get to see. If it is that you choose not to let it be. Something that you crave, but you do not know you do. Slightly interrupted. Out of time you move. Having to make up the time that you might have lost makes you wonder how it is. Will you make up that time that happened to be lost? Will you take it slow or will you take it fast? A fleeting moment that you may not know that last. The sweetest smell of spring and summer. Do not forget, there's not very many months among that. You can search among the path outside of it. But once you get outside of that time, it will become harder for you to find. Doesn't mean you will not find it, though. Never know when it is spring or summer for another. Never know when it is a sweet smell can be smelled by another. Do not forget, there's more than one in this situation. The only difference is, can you tell if it is them or you in this situation? Do you wish for it to last? Must do what it is you need to do to ensure that it lasts. The trust between the two. Do you have such things between you two? If there is another that you have, sweeter the smell, the more you can tell might be the one you wish to have. Can you tell if it is the one you wish to have? To be with for the rest of your life. To have the happiness together for the rest of your life. Is it even something that you search for? Or is there other things, other than a flower, you search for? If you search for any other, as soon as it's over, it starts to wither. Then you'll search again. Repeat. But if it is that is not something you wish to repeat, and have it from the day to the night, every hour of the day and the night, for years upon years, decades beyond decades. Then relationship is required for such things to last decades. The sweetest flower that you may never get to smell because you never take the time to let the bud actually blossom so you can smell. The most beautiful thing that you would ever encounter is one thing without a relationship you will not encounter. Is it something that you seek? No, another question as it is that you might seek. If it is not what it is that you have tried from the start to seek. Let me ask you something. If it is that one searches through the meadow and sees a withered flower, do you think that they will pick that withered flower? Or one that has not budded quite yet? Or one that might see, for it has already budded for all to see? Which of those three would be better, do you think? Most would think the one in the middle, the one that has been already shown. Right? Do not forget, as soon as one starts to do that, do you know what happens shortly after they do that? If it has not bloomed yet, there's more time that you can get. For the true beauty and the time that it blooms is if you spend the time before it even starts to bloom. The one that you might have thought someone else nurtured them for them to bloom upon that spot. They are seeking upon what it is they had before. The one that has withered is one that might have found it, but it was ruined before. The one that has not. They search for it, but they have not opened up. Of course, after each, there is a chance a different bloom you happen to see. But if it is that a past relationship happened to affect a future one, which one of the three are they? Possibly the second or the third. Not the one you seek for, which happens to be the first. The second works well, though. They've already experienced it. They wish to have more, and they show the fact they've experienced it. Sweetest time amongst the summer, and in the spring that comes before the summer. If it is that you see one that the bloom is not shown, would you rather spend time so it can be shown? For the true splinter is shown when it starts to open. Strongest point of a relationship is when it starts to open. Upon the time it is fully has a chance, if not nurtured properly, to start to wither. For such a bloom to stay, That is a commitment upon every day. The joy is given above all you could ever imagine. If you only take the time. As it is that a new love happens to start. Get excited because it happened to start. Never knowing which way it might go. A new, brand new thing happens to show. Giggly and all other things. Happy and giddy amongst all things. Even at times overlooking certain things. As it is, this feeling starts to grow. You do not know what it is, but you want it to grow. Every moment you happen to spend is another cherished moment that you happen to spend. Eager to see the next day. Even the one that happens to be in your way. Every moment you happen to try to cherish. Even at times, you forget to do things important because you happen to cherish. Upon all things, it's the only thing you can think about. The flower that happens to be your love is all you can think about. Whoever it may be, you're so eager to hear or see. Every waking moment upon the day and night is the only thing you wish to have, for you know it feels right. Upon that time, a new feeling you have upon this time, lasting from beyond that to the next. The only thing you're wondering, am I going to feel this way upon the next? Sweeter than any honey that can ever exist. This is the taste when it is you taste this. The only thing you can think upon the time like this. How is it that I can continue to get this? Is there any way this cannot be for me? How is it that no matter what I do or see, I cannot stop thinking about the one that I like? Is this love maybe more than what just I happen to like? Is it sweeter than any smell I've ever smelt? I can't explain it. Man, this is hard. Doesn't matter upon every time. Any and every single time I happen to be around this one. Feelings that I get for this one. Bubble from the inside like a butterfly that's trying to get from the inside to the out. Can it be something that I should have without a doubt? Feeling in amongst the way that I do, is there anything different that maybe another happens to see with the view? Do I need to ask upon this time, is it truthfully honey that I taste upon this time? Is it that maybe I misunderstand upon what it is I feel? Is it maybe this is something that I cannot feel? Is it something that for another would happen to be curb appeal? Am I the only one that has such a feeling as this? Can I even understand this? Shivers that go down my spine when I see them upon almost every time. A happiness that is beyond all I've ever felt. Can this truthfully be above all I have ever felt? The sweetest time amongst the summer and spring. For in a relationship, when it first starts, these are the things that happen to be seen. As it is, the flower starts to bloom. Beauty that I did not see amongst before it happened to bloom. Never knowing the fact that it would get even better than that from the time that it happened to start. Even more intense feelings than it was before it start. Wanted more upon what it is I had that day, and the ones that happened to follow, that came that way. But I didn't know it would be more than what it was before. What do you mean? I didn't know I could get more. As the bloom starts to show, other things that were beautiful about such things I did not know happened to show. Little subtle details that make me maybe smile or laugh. Maybe ones that at points might even make me sad. Never knowing that I could be this glad. Never knowing at points I could be this sad. That I didn't notice that it was this way before. Didn't know that this beauty would be even more. Above and beyond what I could ever imagine. Seeing this bloom start to open is more than I can ever imagine. Feelings of emotion, they have now changed to a point that I wish this could entirely stay the same. It was good before, but I wish to have more of what it is that I happen to see. As it is, this bloom shows more. Beyond what it is I could ever expect. Inside this bloom, I didn't know this is what I was gonna get. A feeling above all others that I could ever feel. Even above before the bloom happened to start to show. By building this relationship, how is it that I could know? That I could be more than what it was that happened to show. Oh, great. Even some trust in me is starting to show. And amongst them, for me as well. Very nice when it is that not everything is required for me to do. Acting as a team is what we do. Never knew that it was so nice in this view. Sweetest time amongst the spring and summer. When it is that the bloom starts to show in the spring and summer. After what is required for for this to bloom. Certain nutrients and caring is required for such things to bloom. When these start to get what it is that they need to show what it is for the love that you feel you need. Trust must be shown. Otherwise, there would be no bloom that happened to show. Love as it starts to blossom. Just the very beginning, as it starts to open its blossom. As it is, the beauty of what it is that you choose starts to see for what it is it actually happens to be. And as it starts to show. You definitely take notice, for this you fully know. No denying a fact that at this point, your love to others starts to show. As far as what it is they see with your relationship between this other. Will you ensure to nurture it, to keep it this way? Or will they start to notice a little bit after it fully blooms? Decay? From things you do not overlook. course, standards would have to be set for you to think there might be a better for you. If you get what I mean by that, you start to notice the things that either make you like them more, or things you wish to change because you do not like seeing that anymore. Very important to set out a guideline as far as what you accept and what you do not between the two of you. Because as it is, it starts to bloom. When it is at full bloom, you have seen it for everything it is. Do you accept it or not? But this is only possible if there's relationship in this spot. Try to go with another. You still have to make it bloom. Do you not? But if it is that you choose to walk away, at that point you might regret that later upon a different day. But it only starts to wither when it is that you break their trust. Or do something that makes it to where it's hard for them to trust. Little things that you might notice that in a lack of way of saying it drives you nuts. Those simple little things can easily be overlooked. For the joy you have, can you easily overlook that? Or do you pay attention to the wrong thing? At that point, you start to feel that way. No longer the bud do you see, or the flower anymore. When it is that you should be focusing on the flower even more. For it overweighs or outweighs these little petty things that, for whatever reason, you happen to, for more you see, to overlook these little petty things. More love, more beauty in the flower can you see. Willing to overlook little things that mean nothing. Do not forget, they were there, but at first they meant nothing. If you were not aware, they were there the whole time. Whatever those little things might be at that time. You overlooked it then, did you not? So how is it any different now than it was then at this spot? Flower at the sweetest time in spring and summer stopped noticing upon the fact that it was a flower, the same one that you helped nurture to see the bud of the flower. For the fact you did not see. Even some of those particular things that may attracted you to that one are now ones that do not necessarily, as it is, it begun. Was there a lack of communication? Part of a relationship is communication. There is a right and wrong way to have an argument. Did you know that? Cannot always win a particular argument. There's more than just you among the two. You cannot forget, at this point, the better half of you, as it might be referenced by some. It is exactly as it was when it begun. The only difference now is that you can fully see for what it is, the beauty for what it is. Focus on that instead of many petty things. In many years, upon this you will see. Never know what other beauty amongst these kinds of things can possibly and are able to be seen. The sweetest time amongst the summer, amongst the spring. It can last for decades, or longer, if it is that you allow it to. Is this the love that you are willing to view? Last every day of every second. Last for in 24 hours, every 80,000 plus seconds. Or do you wish to have one that only lasts and goes away? Way too fast. Then you look for another. That lasts just as long as that. Is that a love? Or is it not? To see this flower I speak of, only relationship, can make it be in this spot. Without, you will never see a love such as this. For some, it is hard to achieve this. For they are not willing to overlook petty things. That in truth mean nothing as far as how it is you feel about that one. Why can you not think of the love as it has begun? And beyond that for what it is it could be. A love amongst the sweetest in spring and summer. For a nurtured flower learns to be. A flower that lasts longer than any one that, technically speaking, is craved by many. A relationship that leads to beyond. From two to one and beyond. In the sweetest summer, will you nurture this flower that you happen to see? That you wish to be with? Or will you not? Will you love as far as what you need to in this spot? Will you trust this one you might have picked beyond any other that you could have possibly picked? Will you nurture upon the fact of what it is that you need to do? For at this point in the future, they will rely upon you. If it is this flower you finally start to bloom. Beyond what it is you might see from the start. Are you willing to see it to the end? Not just the start. And if it is that you wish to seek many things together, you will see. Well, that looks like all the time I have for now, so until next time.